Hello, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you for being here with us today. We have our good friend, Brother Sage, with us, and he is an author. You might have heard of some of his other books regarding Shivambu and whatnot. But today we are going to be talking about, he's going to share about his book, The Inescapable Book, The Inner Extraordinary Guide to Inner Peace and well-being. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I live in paradise and it feels like I'm living my dream.
Excellent. Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah, that yeah, when you feel like that just that free flow, which we were talking about earlier, and that peace, that's there's nothing else like that. Yeah, you have the challenges, but without the challenges you wouldn't know that inner peace, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
I've known Sage for a long time. Um, Brother Sage was the first person to introduce me to urine therapy, which is a big deal. In 2016, 2016 and a half or so. And yeah, that's where we go back. And he's written a few books. And I read a bit of this one and it flows very good. And we
Mhm.
were saying before we started recording, how the book just flows through you. And if you just let go and become sort of a negative space, information will fill your void. And I think it did that a lot in his book here because it's a pleasure to read. I think he did a good job, and I think it could be a great gift to humanity.
Mm. Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kind words.
So, can you share a little bit about how this book came to be?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. Somewhere around 2016, 2017, I got the concept, the idea that our life is running parallel to our perception of our life. In other words, your true life, or what some people call heaven, where everything is in perfection and in a state of perfection right now, is going on while your version of your life in your mind and how you're identifying yourself and the things that appear in your life is also going on, right? So the in between, the crossover is what people know as the veil. And so what this book is designed to let you look behind the veil, pull up the veil, and realize there never was a veil. So it started in 2018, but as I got into the manuscript and was moving into finishing the manuscript before doing the editing and getting to the publisher and doing that whole thing, it dawned on me that this was my journey. These are all the tools that I've been using my whole life from all my mentors, all the spiritual masters that I was fortunate to cross paths with. Uh, Everything from chanting and affirmations to sentence stems and breath work, it's all in here, including the concept of physical immortality. And so the book is the best of the best of what I've gone through in order to liberate my brain from the programming of society, my family, and education and religion. And so I'm laying out little places for people to stand and unravel their process and go through their process so they can unravel the belief systems, the patterns, the low images they have of themselves so they can liberate themselves.
Mhm. Would you call it uh, kind of a how-to guide?
It's a how to, it's also a hearts on, hands on guide.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. Um, so I read through some of it. I have to be honest, I didn't read the whole thing, but I really like how every so often you put in the word breathe. Like, because we all have,
That word.
yes, like that reminder is just so fundamental. I mean, we're always breathing, but are we really breathing?
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah.
pretty revolutionary way of writing. And the brain obeys immediately too. As soon as you read that
Mhm.
little spell, you actually
Mhm.
just breathe without even thinking. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's very innovative.
Yeah, I really liked that.
Well, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that as I was writing each phrase or each paragraph, some of them required to take it in and integrate because it goes so deep, so fast during the book that I had to stop and breathe to even write the next paragraph. So I'm going,
Wow.
everybody needs like a rest stop during the book so their mind can make sense of what this new information is coming into them.
Right. Yeah. Because there'll be times where I'll be reading something and then I'm like, what did I even just read? Like I wasn't even like integrating any of it. I mean, maybe on a subconscious level, but then you have to go back. And so that's probably like that reminder of to breathe does, give you that space to remember what you just read.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's an important thing. Um, Whenever we get stuck in our life and there's no movement going on, we're either anxious or we're confused or we're feeling helpless or hopeless. You're not breathing. I mean, you can check in really quick and going, "Oh, I wasn't breathing,"
Mm.
right? And so
Hmm.
when you integrate that as a mindful practice, not only when you get in a position like that and you recognize that you're not breathing, but it also comes in handy when people come into your field and come into your life and you pick up they're not breathing and sometimes you feel suppressed because they're not breathing and I've done that so much. People, I used to just kickstart people by breathing next to them. They thought I was bored. I'm going, no, we need more oxygen in this space right here.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, just the idea of like that taking that proper breath. Like it's uncomfortable for many people, for people to like be breathing or even stretching in public properly. Like it's
Mhm.
just not what you do, right?
Well, it's going to
Yeah.
become the new norm anytime now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the natural pulse of life is the breath, constantly like an ocean going out, going in, and then people are just paused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, well, my favorite part was the immortality chapter. Um, that was
Yeah.
fantastic. Do you have anything to say, anything good to pick out from there, or?
Well, I'd like to read a little excerpt from it, if I may.
Mhm.
Yeah, please do.
Talk about flow, Crystal. Of all the places I could put my finger in the book, it went right to the chapter. I
That's a good
kid you.
sign.
Yeah, that's synchronicity. So here's just a little
Love
piece
that.
of immortality. By the way, I wrote this lovely piece, and I have it. I wrote it in 2006, and I can share it with you guys anytime you want. And the title of the article is "Your Sacred Living Foods, Your Spiritual Path, and Even Your Urine Therapy Will Not Save You from Your Mind." And
Mm.
so the book is talking about how we are always looking at all the things we're doing, thinking that's going to save us, but we're not looking at our belief systems and how we run our thoughts during the day. And a good quality mind that has positive life affirming ideas, you're going to be filled with an incredible life. There'll be joy, there'll be gratitude, there's all the goodies in life. So, immortality is, well, let's just read a little bit about it.
Okay.
Imagine a world where aging is no longer a certainty, a world where the human body doesn't naturally wear out, where diseases and physical decline can be stopped in their tracks. In this world, it's not just about living longer, it's about living better, maintaining your vitality, curiosity, playfulness, and having the opportunity to experience more of life, to grow and learn for as long as you choose. That's the concept of physical immortality, the possibility of living indefinitely with a body that doesn't age or succumb to illness or injury.
Mm.
Mhm.
And that all begins in the mind, right?
It begins in the mind and it flourishes in the mind.
Yeah.
And when you bring
You're
up that concept to people, you'll find out if they're content, satisfied, and enjoying their life. Because people who don't work on their issues are people who are miserable, are secretly suicidal and depressed. They wouldn't want to think about extending their life and living longer.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a subconscious death wish, right? And sometimes conscious for some people, but yeah.
and that is tied into the escapism.
Yep.
They want to constantly escape their problems, and their pain, which is coming from a problem they're not addressing and regulating. And it gets so bad, and they get so in the habit of not going after any issue that the only result that constant reoccurs is let's get out of here, let's escape. And nobody wants to do it instantly and kill themselves. Most people really don't want to do that, especially when it comes down to it. So they slowly kill themselves in every way, hold their breath, burn bridges with people, poison the body with everything you consume. It goes on forever.
Yep. Yep, it does. And so I'm glad it's in the book.
Mhm.
I've even discussed what is the source of suffering. I mean, I'm not a Buddhist, but I can use that word.
Mhm.
Suffering for most people is the conflict they have between their true self, their true nature, and being an identity or personality to fit for how the world taught them to fit in the world and to be loved and appreciated and accepted. So you notice the people that are playful and spontaneous and adventuresome and curious and in the moment, they're not hurting.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And that conflict leads to illness. That conflict leads to conflicts in relationships. It affects every area of your life.
Yeah, because it's like that emotion that you're holding within, it's got to come out in some way. It's like your body letting you know that, hey, listen up, Yeah. Like for me, I've had this, and we were just talking about this issue this morning, and I know what it stems from, but it's like, okay, now what? How do I fix this? So for about 7 years, I've had this clogged ear essentially. I was swimming with my son and he's like, do a flip, mom. And I wasn't ready to do this underwater flip. And I didn't listen to my own will, my own self. So that's what it stems from is, I need to listen to myself. So I did this flip and then water went into my ear. And ever since, I don't know if there's like water still in there or if it's just inflamed or what, but yeah.
Because she didn't listen to herself, she lost her hearing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like gone, but it's like definitely like,
Good metaphor.
yeah.
Yeah. And then it'll go away once you realize that you lost it from not listening to yourself or something like that.
But I've realized that, but like, what's the
Something.
next step, right? I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Nicholas, when you get a chance, grab Crystal by the ankles and lift her up and shake her.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
I,
pull on her ear.
yeah, the pulling on the ear does help. And then like the lymph massage on my neck, like drains.
There's
It
also a
helps.
technique I learned from Stanley Burroughs. You might remember him from the 70s. He came up with the master cleanse,
Okay.
water
Yeah.
cayenne. All right. So
What?
he had his technique of reflexology is known as VitaFlex.
Okay.
All right. And one of the techniques he taught in order to improve the quality of the hearing, as well as get rid of hearing aids and all kinds of ear conditions, is put your fingers in your ears, shake it and lift up 20 times, back 20, or you could do 10 times up, 10 times back, 10 times down, 10 times forward. Hold it for a second, lift up and slide it out slowly. And if you try that, I mean,
Okay.
just one time, you feel your hearing enhanced.
Okay. I will do that.
So anytime during the day, just, you think about it, do the ear massage,
Hmm.
ear
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
What led us into the ear? Um,
water in
With,
the ears.
well, just the, I guess, physical ailments showing themselves through held emotion.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the healthiest people just let their it's like the magnetism flowing through and expressing, you just act funny or whatever it is. And if it seems like the schooling system also made you just sit like this
Yeah.
all day long and then just train yourself to block everything for 18 years straight. And then, like you were saying, those are the people that are suffering the most because they just want to go, stretching. Sometimes I stretch in public and people will like ask, are you okay? And it's like, I'm stretching my, like, is it so crazy to stretch my hamstring?
I know I've seen people, they do that all the time, and some people look at them with critical eyes. Go, God, he's so full of himself. He's stretching and so. I mean, you watch the dog and the cat do it everywhere at any moment. Nobody
Right.
thinks about it.
Wow. Yeah. Hmm.
So one of the
Interesting.
techniques that's in this book is called sentence stems. Have
Okay.
you have you ever
I
heard of it?
uh-uh.
Sentence stamps.
Sentence stem. It's an
STEM.
incomplete sentence.
Oh, okay.
And I've been using and teaching this for years. When you hear somebody, now when you really listen to what people are saying, you can hear what they're not telling them, willing to hear to themselves. You can hear their belief systems when you hear people talking. So this
Hmm.
sentence stem comes in handy. I'm out on hikes and I run into a friend. They start giving me a conversation, and immediately I'm in teacher mode. I'm telling them about the sentence stems. For example, if you speak or if you start discussing things that were in the past that triggered you, you had a charge on, it was a difficulty, well, you're going to keep that alive and it's not going to go anywhere because you keep giving it energy, you keep affirming it. So there's two sentence stems that'll break you free of that, and you can do it in a quantum session if you're really paying attention. Number one, up until now, and then you write a line from the last word to the end of the page, and that's how you can complete the sentence. Up until now, I had water in my ears. Up until now, it was difficult for me to learn how to speak in front of a group. Up until now, healing such and such a condition was near impossible. So you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a code for your subconscious to it doesn't happen anymore.
To
That's
change.
good.
Yeah.
All right. So the one that's going to change all that is the next sentence. And this sentence invites your angel team and your higher self to flip it for you. And it could go like that. The second sentence stem is, I am open to the possibility of, you
Mm.
draw a line to say, I'm open to the possibility of instantly healing my ears right now. I'm open to the possibility of manifesting all my heart's desires. I'm open to the possibility of being a multimillionaire before sundown. I mean, whatever you want to put in there, um,
Yeah.
the transformational stem sentence.
Okay.
Hmm. Stems. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Stem.
open to the possibility. And then it just opens, it literally just opens that energy in for you to play with and occupy. Hmm.
Mhm. And this other sentence stems kind of fits right in with that one. And this is about knowingness and receiving knowingness versus resisting and blocking the inner wisdom and the knowingness. How many times have we said or thought, I don't know this about that. I don't know this. I don't know that. I don't know how to fix a car. I don't know how to manifest whatever it is. So, what you're telling the universe is you don't want to know. Hold back the
Mhm.
wisdom. So, start playing with this sentence then. Sentence. I can do this. Sentence stem. I choose to know.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
choose to know how to heal my ears. I choose to know how to run 5 to 10
Mm.
miles on a fruitarian diet. I choose to know whatever it is you want to choose to know. And
Okay.
watch
Oh,
the
this is
shift.
good.
Yeah. It's really
If
good.
you could program yourself all day with these things, you could just have a whole new life in months, years.
Well, you can, and I notice in people's lives, they fall back into their habits and their routines. And those habits and routines aren't necessarily doing self-improvement, are using that quality time during your whatever, how much are we awake? 18 hours, 16 hours?
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
Never thought
18,
about it.
about a
Yeah.
little, yeah, about 18, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
so
16, yeah.
when you carve time in your day to practice loving and nurturing and improving yourself, uh, that changes the quality of your life. Some
Mm.
people, while they're working, they're listening to self-improvement tapes, they're hearing affirmations. I had this guy who needed to spend some time with me, and gave him an extra room, and he had 4 cassette players playing subliminal affirmations during the night. So he said, I might as well multi-track my brain. And so his life kept transforming and transforming because he was hitting himself up with 4 different tracks and 4 different voices and genders. And I go, wow, impressive.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. It is like digital coding, installing a coding, or a program they call TV shows programs. It's literally programming your your subconscious mind.
Yeah, this morning, I woke up early and then I put on a lady that I listen to frequently, and I had a dream of meeting her. So it was like, yeah, it's just all connected.
When you're sleeping, you're totally open.
Yeah, so it's good to play things that you want to encode your brain and your life with, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
all connected. We're all connected. Everything is connected. By the way, there's only one everything, just to
Yeah.
throw that idea out there. I have gems throughout the book, and some of the gems come from people who influenced me.
Okay.
One of them is today, only today.
Mm,
And
yeah.
when people are telling you, well, someday I'm going to do this, and someday I'm going to do that. Well, today is today, only today. When will now be a good time for you to do that?
Hmm.
Give them a chance to, look at their resistance to moving forward and taking action on stuff. So our inner critic, or the part where we get lazy and procrastinate, doesn't come about anymore. I mean, we want to work through that one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now is the most effective and the
Yeah.
most prominent and the most powerful and the most uh controlling, has the most dominance, the now. Yeah, especially the past is really weak. That's but the future can be somewhat useful, but the
Where is
now
it?
has a lot of priority.
What about for those that like they have the idea, they're about ready to like take action on it, but they just don't feel like it. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like, how do you take action? Like for me, I'm talking to myself essentially,
We know.
um, like I have to feel like doing it. Like, I have all these different creative outlets.
Hmm.
Some days I feel like making jewelry. Some days I feel like making music. Some days I don't feel like doing any of it. Uh,
Hmm.
Sentence stem.
yeah.
I'm open to the possibility of doing this.
Okay.
I'm open to the possibility of my creative juices uh, open and flowing effortlessly for me. I'm open to the possibility of being where I need to be at all times without judging myself. I mean, you're always at the right place at the right time, doing the right activity, whether your mind wants to accept that or not. When you're doing nothingness without judgment and criticism, you can be in bliss. So
Mm-hmm.
laziness with self-esteem is a whole nother game.
Laziness with self-esteem.
Yeah, I mean, approving of
Yeah.
yourself when you're being lazy, non-productive,
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole other way to experience yourself.
Yeah.
And then another thing, it takes a long time it, to do these sentence stems and program and redirect and reroute your neural pathways and your thoughts and your subconscious. It takes a long time. People got to know it took 30, 40, 50 years to get there of negative thoughts, and everyone else is around you doing it. And there's also collective mind. All the
Mhm.
humans are, and you're going to directly weave into that collective mind faster than anything. So you get a lot going against. Don't give up. And
Mm-hmm.
then also just the good things take a while to program, but people have invasive thoughts too, which is a very big issue too. Repeating negative thoughts. I hate this, I hate that, I hate this person, whatever it is. I found a good thing to do is use imagery, because imagery is good. You put a big old red X over that thought if you can, and say, I reject, deny, and banish this thought. And you may have to just keep doing it, but after months and months and months of persistence, you can block out a lot of negative thoughts, which are creating an undesirable life for you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say switch, switch. Some people say delete, delete. Some people use all kinds of, prompts in order to do that.
Oh, those are good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing you can do, Crystal, when you're not getting the juices flowing and you're not getting the creativity flowing, is get the hell out of the house.
Okay.
All right. And
Yeah.
I learned that for years because this is all saturated with you. I don't
Mm.
mean Nick, but all the things that are in your
Yeah.
room have
Yeah.
memory. the fabric, the clothes, the bed. And it's all pulling on you. So when you get out, your brain clears up and the energy starts to move.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's
Yep.
a real good, clear way to describe that enough to where it'll motivate you to get out. Because you kind of know it, we all kind of know it, but to sit and think that it's all saturated with you and it's kind of sitting there reflecting back on you, almost mocking and teasing you, it really does mess with you. And then you're just breathing in your steam, like our skin's spraying out steam. You breathe
Yeah.
4,000 gallons of air a day, so you got 4,000 gallons of exhaust. You're just sitting in your steam and exhaust.
Plus
Dude,
you have that thing behind your back called a bed.
Uh-huh.
Very seductive.
Yeah. I
The
love
bed
my
will give you
bed.
mhm.
excuses like you've never believed. And there's my bed. I can just give in, give it to the, yeah, it'll be there when you're ready.
Yeah. So your subconscious is always looking at that place where you just escape all consciousness.
If you're not present, two things happen. Boredom shows up when you're not being in the present moment, because boredom is a result of suppressing what's coming up in you. All right. And so to be able to shift like that quickly, you realize, oh, I'm responsible for this. I want to change everything.
Mm. That's one thing I don't personally, I don't get bored. I always have something that I can do.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you're present then?
I don't
Is that's what we concluded, right?
know.
Well, you do the best you can to stay present, but there are distractions and hood and winks, and there are things that grab your attention all day long.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And one of the biggest distractions is our devices.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
I mean,
Too much going on in them.
there's too much this little box with all the connections and weaves to people and events and pictures of Tartaria from all over the place. Give you just all kinds of reasons to get entertainment, and
Hmm.
entertainment is sometimes a distraction.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
50% of the time I'd say on average.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
Very
watch the
maybe
stuff
more.
that you post, Nicholas. I'm going, this guy must be like shooting endorphins left and right and getting brain MDMA going all over the place. And you gotta keep it in balance.
Keep it in balance, you're thinking?
Always keep it in balance. That's what Native Americans will say to people when they leave their presence. They say, walk in balance.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
this is something I go to the beach pretty much every morning for sunrise. I didn't do it this morning.
Mm.
And so the idea for me is to be mindful that there's love here. Be mindful that the divine presence is in this room. Be mindful that you're in the most sacred bubble or field that you could ever be in, so that throughout the day you've got like you're the observer watching. You're going, well, God is with me. God is with me. Love is with me. Love. And so, however your mind decides to do its thing during the day, you can always go switch, upgrade, because you're watching yourself from a more widened perspective.
Hmm. Yeah. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about the mind. Comes
And you
back to
gotta walk
that.
away from
It's
love.
like
That's
it's the control center. Would that be right in saying?
you could call it control commander, the commander center.
Yeah. Right.
It,
Right.
and then as far as health and immortality and physical health and the mind, I mean, you can't say that the mind doesn't control all your physiological chemistry too, because you have a thought of hunger. Well, your digestive juices start activating, salivatory glands start excreting more saliva. Your stomach will even move physically and make noises. You have a thought of fear, crashing your car, adrenaline spikes, your hand sweats. Now your adrenals are secreting cortisol and sweat to cool off the system. You have a feeling of joy and love, oxytocin, heart expands. It's a lot of things. Your mind is really controlling your physiological chemistry. So yeah, the mind is
Mm.
very much the head unit.
Hmm.
It's a processor that's bigger and better built than the fastest computer on the planet.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because of
Yeah.
all the gold and amazing minerals and alchemy and stuff in it.
Mm, yeah.
So go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to shift gears. I had a, question pop up. Do you have a favorite part of your book, like a favorite chapter? That one that sticks out, or it's just all great?
It's all great. I like the one in Immortality. I like the one
Yeah.
on getting discovering your perfect food path.
Mm,
Let's
And
talk.
that one, go ahead.
yeah.
Let
Yeah,
me
it's all
read.
good.
The name of that chapter is The Inescapable Food Path, Making Peace with Food.
Okay.
And I've been involved with live plant food since 1977, and I was a nutrition consultant at 6 major health food stores, and I really dug into the whole nutritional world and found out that what's harder for people is the anxiety about dialing in their body's food requirements or nutritional requirements every day. Because
Mm.
that's hit or miss. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. Sometimes the super nutritional product that people sold you doesn't work or whatever. There's all kinds of complexities about dialing in the food. What enzymes are required to digest what food, what foods go together, what foods don't go together, what's the chemistry of foods. Even on a raw food diet, you have to know what foods combine with what. So there's a
Mhm.
lot of complexity. There's a lot of food rules. There's a lot of food dogma. There's a lot of food slavery going on our planet,
Oh, yeah. It's the
right?
biggest addiction.
It's
Like, I
it's the
think everyone on earth at this point, maybe not everyone, but 99.9% of people are addicted to food on some level.
except the breatharians. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody's actually interviewed them to find out how did they break free
I know. And why not? Why
and
are,
why not.
yeah. Yeah.
And
Because
so,
I wonder if it's even, there's this thought in my head. Yeah, people say they're breatharian, but is it like 100%? Or they're just on the path to getting there?
yeah, it's either one. It's just inspiring to think that somebody can walk away from food and walk away from
Mhm.
fluids. Um,
Mhm.
And so you'll hear people on these social media platforms that are all buzzing about what did they needed to change to make their body work better? What product did they get? What seminar did they attend? What system are they using? And I tend to like stray away from all that stuff and go back to simple nature, fasting, enemas, um, and raw foods.
Yep.
And it's worked for me for all these years. It's just a matter of having discipline because some people say, how can you be a fruitier? And my diet's like 85% fruit now, 85, 95% fruit. Living in Hawaii, it's easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I brought home 12 coconuts yesterday. I mean, it's easy to do, but you have to have the discipline, you know, narrow down the size of your meals, chew your food real thoroughly, simple basic food rules. Don't eat after sundown unless it's fruit, and don't talk while you're chewing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I never could stand to go to business meetings over at restaurants. I go, I want to listen, but I don't want to talk. I want to eat and I have to listen.
Yeah, you're
Crazy.
probably turning off your digestive system when you're speaking
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
trying to digest food.
Well, when I first started hanging out with Leonard Orr, you know who he is?
Yeah, he's a great teacher and author on the subject of immortality and has met many immortals. And he doesn't consider somebody an immortal unless they're older than 300.
Yes. Well, he was the father of the breath movement on our planet, known as rebirthing, before Winhoff and all these other guys spun it off and branded it in their own way.
Mhm.
So when we'd have community get-togethers and potlucks, he would sit alone eating without talking to anybody. And I didn't quite get that. And I went out to eat with him and his wife. We're at a restaurant. He's not talking to anybody. He's just involved present time with the food. And I finally
Mhm.
caught on to that. Everybody else is trying to say, ask him questions, and he's going, I'm eating. This is the yoga, eating consciously, not talking. And few people have the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like gatherings. That's like the main focus is the food and conversation together.
Yeah.
Whether you're out with your family or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, social,
social. Yeah.
social food and talking have to, and like even like all these, we have to, people like to have a conversation. They don't even say let's have a conversation. It's let's go out to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even all the dates. It's like you don't really want to go eat together. You want to talk, and then the only thing you can comfortably do together is eat for some weird reason.
Huh.
Yeah.
So is there anything else good in that chapter that you want to highlight? And then another thing before I forget is you should read the contents on what's in this book so people can get an idea if they want to get
Mhm.
it, because
Mhm.
that's like the overlay.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Okay. The other thing about that I like in the food path is the vacations from food. It's called fasting.
Mhm.
And you have to have the right approach to fasting or you feel like you're in denial. Oh, I'm missing out on food. Oh, I usually eat at 3 in the afternoon. All the rituals. And to have a conscious vacation from food, like if you're doing an Oran fast, you've done Oran fast, right?
Yeah.
All day. Right. You don't think about food all day.
Yeah, because your stomach is full, essentially.
I think about how much I dislike food when I'm on a urine fast because food stiffens me up, dries me up, and it kind of puts kinks in my spine. When I'm on just urine, I'm so loose and relaxed, and oh my
Right.
gosh, the mobility I can get in my spine is just completely different.
Yeah, and you don't get that like that oh, I just ate feeling like that. You could feel it like bring you down
Mhm.
in physicalness and in frequency. It's just like this heavy feeling. Yeah.
All kinds
Well,
of ways to have people have a new relationship with everything, with their body, with food, with spirit, in a way that they were not taught, in a way that's really part of their natural way in their inescapable life. So I'm going to read the contents from the book. There's 17 chapters for those who are curious. It comes out to 182 pages. By the way, before I forget, it was just made available in audiobook
Okay.
and ebook as well.
Okay.
ooh, we'll do
Excellent.
the audiobook 10 times over easy.
Yeah.
That's what I keep hearing people going. I don't have time to read, but when I'm in the car going for a hike, I'll flip on a book.
Yeah.
Working out, going to
Mhm.
bed.
Yeah,
Sweet.
definitely.
I'm glad I was open to catch up with the new generation of technology.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love reading, but like it must be the collective. Like just I'm my I've shifted away from like reading so much. I prefer to listen. But as a kid, I would read, read, read. My face was always in a book.
However you
Yeah.
process information,
Yeah.
yeah, do that. All right, this is the table of contents. There's
Okay.
17 chapters, and here they go. Chapter number 1, breaking free from the programming, also known as the false matrix. All the ideas, all the concepts, all the indoctrination, everything that was built into our brain and our belief systems were not originally thought of by us. So we have to like brainwash ourselves in order to have a free, a clear, fresh brain in order to manifest much better.
Yeah, their main brainwashing thing is to take you away from the infinite nature, where a seed creates a plant, which creates a million seeds, which and that goes on forever. It's infinite. Plants are infinite. The water system's infinite. It's really an infinite nature, and then their way to run big giant corporate businesses is to make you think that everything's limited. Buy now before it's out of stock. All of it, the money, everything, inflation, it's all limited, and they want you in that thing for their little whatever. I don't know. It just happens, but you need to get out of that. That's the false matrix, and the real matrix is the infinite.
Mhm.
Period. I guess.
Thank you. All right, I was going to go down another. I mean, you're talking about how they do that, and I reminded of that. Phones, electronic devices, your car are designed to fall apart, so you have to buy another one, or it
Yeah.
has to get the newest upgrade in your system. I'm going, wow, what a scam.
Yeah, and the batteries will run out of juice, and the tank will run out of gas, and it's all very limited.
It's all part of their programming. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Number 2, the mind holds the key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
Swami Beyondananda, which I quote in the book. Have you ever heard of that cosmic comedian?
I don't think so.
All right, check out Swami Beyondananda sometime.
Okay.
Somebody asked him the question, what is the key to the universe? Now, now his real name is Steve Behrman, but that's his stage name is Swami Beyondananda. And sometimes he'll go into an Indian accent and he'll answer the question as if he is from India. So somebody asked him the question, what is the key to the universe? He says, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The bad news is there is no key to the universe. And the good news is it's been left unlocked.
Haha. Nice.
So the key to the universe is the quality of your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very empowering to think that you don't need to buy a system or a program or something in order to heal yourself, change your life, have intimate relationships, prosper, and really enjoy the best life ever.
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
good.
It's very freeing.
It makes us absolutely responsible, whether you're ready or not.
Right. Yeah.
Hard, but that could
That's
be over.
I don't
that's the
mind a
issue.
little responsibility.
That's the issue.
I'm
People,
good with that.
yeah, most people, most people are programmed with responsibility glitch.
Mm.
Uh, there's something to that with the responsibility.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
can't elaborate on it this second, but I've had deep revelations with the responsibility thing.
Well, everyone just wants what not I use everyone as like a general term, but wants to rely on an external source, other people. Save me.
Who gets you propane? Who does this? Who does that?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then even being responsible for your own life, like being healthy every day.
Mhm.
So you don't have to get sick and then have this hospital be responsible for you. Because when other people are responsible for you, the quality is reduced by like 90%.
And the pressure's off of you,
Mhm.
supposedly. Well,
And then you can blame them.
the trap they fall into is they have this form of measurement, and it's on a scale of, oh, I did wrong, I did right. It was good, it was bad. And when you step away from those concepts, it's not about good or bad. You're doing what you've agreed to do, and that's your responsibility. So it's a different stand, if it's a different position. Or
Mm.
that trying to compare, oh, what if it doesn't turn out right? Well, if you're doing it, it'll turn out right.
Because nothing's wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then on the blame thing too, when you hold responsibility for yourself, you got all the power. And when you blame them, then you're putting all the power onto them too.
Yeah. You're giving away your power.
Mhm.
Something
Yeah.
with that too. I gotta
Yeah.
get a glass of water. Keep going.
Okay.
Okay, chapter 3. And this one I really enjoyed, and I'll give you an example. Gotta drink some juice. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got to keep hydrated. We've been doing a gallon each of hydrogen water for the last month, and it's like the changes in the
Mhm.
physical body.
Look at my eyes.
Looking great.
They weren't like that before.
Do you
Yeah.
think if we get really clean, and this has been always my fantasy, that our eyes will turn either blue or green?
Yeah.
Yep, they will. Yeah, well, green's the half point, because it's the middle chakra. It's still
Uh-huh.
a little dirty, like murky green water. And then blue is pure, like heaven. You look up, what do you always associate with heaven? Looking up in the blue
Okay.
sky. Everybody loves blue sky. And then, yeah, blue.
Mhm.
Okay, this is chapter number 3, Unraveling and Shining the Light on Popular Spiritual Terms.
Mm.
People throw out spiritual terms all the time. They have a meaning for them, they have a charge on them, but they never really stop to examine what's the origin of that word and what does it really mean. And one of those words is ascension.
Mm.
Now, it's a buzzword in social media groups and
Yeah.
platforms. They're talking about ascension and we're stepping up, quickening to ascension energy, and I can feel a lift. Well, a lot of them unconsciously are thinking that that's their ticket out of here.
Right.
Things go south, my
Escapist.
life doesn't work out, I'm sick, my relationships are down the toilet. I'll just ascend. I'll take the elevator to heaven. So in the book, I unravel it and let people know that ascension is freeing yourself from limiting and negative thoughts.
Yeah.
then the fun and where all the work is in the body anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People took an escape route again, as usual, as we're conditioned to. The easiest, quickest, don't do any work, just escape from it. Like everyone goes and drinks to escape from their day and their mind, and
Mhm.
alcohol and um,
Whatever their choice
everything.
is.
You escape from your day when you go to bed. Yeah, and they'll even take Ascension and take the escape template and put that on that, I guess.
Mm.
So what I wanted to do is debunk a lot of spiritual terms.
Mm-hmm.
Is there another good example from there?
Let's pull some out. I know higher self is in the list.
Mm.
People say, well, I get the direct information and intelligence from my higher self. I'm going, well, who defined it as a higher self and what defines a lower self? If you have a higher self, then you have a lower self. Well, I have a big old rant I've done on Facebook about the whole illusion of levels.
Mm-hmm.
People say, well, I get it on one level, but I don't get it on another level. Or he gets it on one level, but he doesn't get it at this level. I'm going, they're all judgments. All right. You know what you know when you need to know what you need to know. It's not a level-based measurement.
Right.
And if you start saying that someone doesn't get it at another level, you're judging them.
Yeah, it's an assumption. Just to simplify it into levels, it's kind of like quantifying, trying to put a quantity on like something so marvelous and magnificent or
Mhm.
something. And then when you say that too, like, what about parallel cells too? Like, it
Yeah.
it could be parallel, not higher. So yeah,
Mm.
And some people
that's
use that to
interesting.
push their parents away. They push their friends away. They said, well, they don't get me. They just don't get me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the truth is, you don't get you. And when you get yourself, you can communicate from a heart-centered position, and then people will get you heart to heart. But if you're trying to win them over because they don't believe like you, there's part of the trouble right there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And any other good spiritual terms in there?
Let me
Or
take a
should we?
let's go to the next chapter.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We got some more to go here. Number 3, restoring self-worth and self-esteem. That seems to be the biggie for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people. I was raised with low self-esteem because I was the third child. My brother was number 2, my sister was number 1, and I had to figure a way to climb up the ladder to get mom love, dad love.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took on the role in the family. Guess what I did in the family? I was the peacekeeper,
Yeah.
right? I couldn't figure out my brother was like A plus, A plus, A plus genius in school. And my sister had all these incredible abilities, and I couldn't figure out how do I get to mom and dad? Well, I'll make light of everything. So that led me into being the class clown in high school. That led me into studying comedy and doing what I'm doing today. And so you guys probably
Mm.
know how you fit into your family dynamics.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
um, the power of the breath is number 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there's some teachings about rebirthing and mentioning Leonard Orr and Sandra Ray and just the practice. And you guys may already be doing this is to lay down some point during the day and just do 30 connected breaths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, whether your full breath is through your nose or through your mouth, the whole idea is to get your energy loosened up so it starts flowing better. And you'll notice after doing that, all of a sudden you're more present.
Mm. I don't know if I do 30 consecutive, but like during my yoga practice, I'm definitely like focused on the breath, but I'm also doing other, stretching and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if you can do it
Yeah.
without other
During
stuff.
the Shavasana at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's laying still on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
doing
very.
30 right now.
You're doing 30 right now. Okay. Keep an eye on him so he doesn't float out of the room.
Yeah.
All right, number
Yeah.
6 is something that I studied quite closely with Louise Hay and Sandra Ray, the affirmations and the art of rewriting beliefs. The thing about affirmations, positive statements like I deserve love, uh, people, I'm a blessing to people by my presence. I mean, I've got a whole vault on my website, brothersage.com, thousands and thousands of affirmations for any situation, any illness, anything, whether it's money, relationships, whatever. The thing with affirmations, there's a lot of people who fall into the practice of saying, I've been there, I've done that, it didn't work.
Mm.
Because affirmations requires you to really look at your stuff. You're going to say an affirmation which you want to use to flip how you usually talk to yourself to become the new default setting.
And you
Uh,
can't just say it. You have to like feel what it is to say that,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, the feeling
Sometimes
part of
you oh
it,
sometimes you don't feel it, but as you say it, it magically pops in and then you can feel it.
Or if you keep saying it. Yeah.
it eventually it will switch. A really good example, and for some people they resist the simple ones. Like if you write "I deserve love" 30 times, and you wait after you've written it to hear the response from your mind, you can find out what you've been thinking. You could write, I deserve love, and your mind says, who are you kidding? I deserve love. Bullshit. I deserve love. And I would do that, and the pencil would break, or things would come up for me because I had resistance to hearing that I really do deserve love.
That's great.
So you
Wow.
keep writing the affirmation until you get a positive response. You keep writing the positive response until you get high off of it and it's now true for you and it's integrated. That's the change point.
Yeah, yeah,
Whoa.
you got to keep doing it. I mean, who knows how it's ever it probably takes longer for some people and yeah, just keep doing it.
Yeah. And you can record it and play it back in your voice. You can
Mm,
say affirmations to each other. Here's
mm,
another powerful way, Nicholas. You may want to try this. I would go out into this open field where I knew there's nobody around, and I would just do a video. I'd be standing there talking to the camera, not a live stream. I would just start talking at random, whatever comes out of my head. And you can get feedback from that kind of information to see what you've been thinking about yourself. Because when you're doing your live streams, when you're doing your talk, at some point it dawns on you, you go, I needed to hear that.
yeah.
That's what I needed to learn. So affirmations are very powerful.
Mm.
Mhm. Yeah, in the
Okay.
video too. That's like a 360-degree mirror, and like 360 degrees as in all the information.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Humor as a tool for transformation.
Mm.
So throughout that chapter 7, what page is chapter 7? That's page
What is
74.
a tool for transformation?
Humor.
Oh yeah.
Humor.
Oh, yeah.
Tendency people have taken themselves too seriously, and they used to say that you know how angels are able to fly, they take themselves lightly. So throughout this chapter, um, there's jokes about every couple of paragraphs, so people will
Mm,
practice jokes and humor, and so that's
mm,
very important. It's in some of my other books on the healing water from within. When you're discussing urine therapy, it's good to have a good sense of humor about it because it's a controversial thing for some people.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
having humor changes the situation when people get it, when they get the joke. Number 8, the practice of self-love. It's pretty self-explanatory. 9 is the food path. 10 is the mirror of self-reflection. 11, we go into guided meditation for personal liberation. Chapter 12, the art of letting go of the past. Chapter 13, I wrote this. This is good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, isn't that a good feeling? I can feel
That
you
is a good
feeling.
feeling. So number 13 out of 17 is embracing new possibilities. This is all goes really deep into self-healing. Now, when I do consultations with people, and I really love doing consultations, you're basing and taking them to the tipping point.
Mm,
All right, you're shining a light on what they've been believing about themselves and the patterns they've been going on in their thinking, but they're blind spots to them.
yeah.
They don't see it, but the people around them can see it.
Mm,
And so your job is to shine a light, let them see that, remembering that that's not your work. Their work is their work and your work is their work. So don't step in to save them or change them. Your job is just lovingly support them with ideas and things like from this book so people can get to work and stop suffering.
So
Uh,
it really is a guide to well-being.
Yeah.
it is a guide. We're almost done here. Physical mortality, prayers, mantras, and poetry. You guys write poems?
I used to more. I don't. There's lots of things I used to do.
Up
I, ha-
until now.
I have two huge poetry books from Boganathar Bogar Palini. He's one of the great 18 Siddhars, and we have these Navapashanam beads from him. That's the only poetry I have, and these are stones made out of 2,000 herbs, rare gemstones. He's like he's a master of alchemy. He taught a lot of the yogis. He taught um, Babaji and like 5 or 6 of the other 18 great siddhars. But anyways, those are the books that I have on poetry. That's it. I don't read them as much as I should, but maybe I will now.
I would encourage you, brother, to let your romantic out and look at your beloved and be inspired that she is your muse so you can start channeling poems to her.
Oh.
So let me give you 2 examples from my book. I wrote a lot of poems to my wife. We were married for 22 years, and she was my muse. And as I went on to life, there are certain women that really struck deep in my heart. We weren't intimate or sexual, but they were my muses. And I let them know I'm writing poetry because of your presence in my life. And so here's 2 of them. Lovers are lovers. That's what you do. Take it viral. Start with you. Diving deep into the bliss I go, this precious heart teaches what there is to know. Releasing fear and doubt as I sail, with love in me I cannot fail.
Hmm.
Mm. Mhm.
And here's one
Simple and
more.
true.
Here's one more, you romantic people, you.
Mhm.
The bitter and the sweet, within an instant they do meet, exploring the common ground where joy, love, and oneness abound. Holding nothing back or in reserve, both of their flavors finally merge. This could come into a rap song. I mean, this has a nice pattern to it.
Yeah.
As all ideas are seen and heard, let's take them all higher atop every bird.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Very, very
be
sweet.
inspired, write poems.
Yeah.
Does it end with that?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I know your zodiac and tropical astrology is Gemini, the author and the poet. And you also have the ruler of Gemini, Mercury, in Gemini, which is greatly it's considered
Exalted.
is in rulership. It's a what is it? A, a dignity. Great
Dig-
dignity with
Words.
words, mind, and Gemini is also the respiratory system. So it has all to do with breathing. And
Yeah,
yeah, so like what better person to write a book and have breathing in it than a Gemini with the ruler, Mercury in Gemini. Very cool. And it shows through.
thank you very much. So the last 2 chapters is Living the Inescapable Life, How to Create the Inescapable Lifestyle. Chapter 17, the last one is The Journey Ahead, What's Possible Now. It's your time to spread good news.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we all need to spread more good news so people can be more, uh, you know,
Yeah.
peaceful.
With
So,
everything going on in the world, with all the gloom and doom and scary stuff that everybody's putting their attention on, it's nice to bring a balance point so that talking about human interest stories and the triumph of the spirit and the love of life can become the new norm, that becomes
Mm.
more a dominant
Yeah.
conversation in the public.
It's coming. Yeah.
It's
The
coming and
shift is,
we're
yeah.
part of it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your piece of heart. You know, that the book is your heart. I can feel that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And definitely going to dive into it more. Looking forward to the audio version. And yeah, where can people get your book? You get this book.
Okay, you've got 2 options. For anybody who wants an autographed copy of the Inescapable book and you live in the United States, that's how you get it. I'll have extra copies on hand. Everybody else can get either the paperback, the ebook, or the audio book on Amazon. And so you either get it instantly or it'll be shipped to you wherever you live on the planet.
Okay. And they can find you at your website. Is that how they get the physical signed
Yeah,
copy?
you have them go. If you want to put in the description of this video, brothersage.com. It's the best way to reach out and communicate either by cell or email.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless there's anything else, I think we covered a lot.
No, not much more, but I recommend this book. I read through it and I've known him for a long time, and it's got a lot of soul in it
Mm,
and a lot of good information.
Awesome. Mahalo, guys, for inviting me on and being able to introduce the book to the world.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Look forward to next
We'll
time.
we'll talk again soon.
Yep.
All righty. Aloha.
Bye.
Bye.